expectations. And I always told Kizzy that I was like, do you have some, like, I was wanting someone to hold me some type of expectation. I want her to be my parent, pretty much. And she said, Byron, I'm not pushing you to do none of that. You need, work through that. Am I saying stuff that you need to push? Well, I know it's good, though, that I'm thinking that you're doing that because I need that. I need that support, that parent. And so, and then also it was difficult for me to socially be integrated socially and academically, being comfortable around people and around this campus, fitting in with classmates, trying to relate, communicate with them. Uh, around having some doubts about my academics and motivation abilities because I came to college less prepared than most of my peers. So I was really like I wasn't to tell you the truth, I wasn't ready for it to be academically here. I mean, I see my peers, I'm doing basic work and they're doing stuff. I mean, they're already above me. I'm not even average. So it was hard for me to move through that. It kind of motivated me. And so, but through it all, I realized I know one thing, that if I know if I work really hard and do the right things and stay positive, do positive, I will be successful. Like nobody never failed working hard, doing the right things, staying positive, and doing positive things. Nobody never fails. It's impossible to fail when you're doing those things. So that's what kept me going. And so those are one of the things I want to talk too much, but those are one of the things I was thinking about and all that. So yeah.
From my story for being placed in foster care, it's was having that support. I had it, and ever since that, I was since the ninth grade, I was very independent. I was the one that cooked and helped my mom and stuff as she went to school in the college. I moved here in the ninth grade to Fresno, and it was difficult because I didn't know any other resources or anything else. I was placed in the foster care at an older age. I was 16 when I was placed in the foster care. Um, my experience is a little different because I had support, I just didn't know how to use it. And I didn't know how to use that support. Going to an all Caucasian family, I was totally outed for the color of my skin. So I was out of place, the color of my skin, I was out of place. I didn't understand foster care in the system at all. And I was out because I didn't know where I was supposed to go from there. Um, Also, I think for my experience of being in foster care, um, I think they both touched on it a lot too. I don't want to repeat myself, but uh, I think for the foster care system going on to college, I think for me, my parents did push me a lot to strive for excellency and to do better. I think for myself, um, they wanted me kind of be dependent on them, less independent for myself because I was independent a lot. And my parents were kind of like, well, we're here and all that stuff. Like, I don't really need you. I've been doing this on my own before. So I think that's really it for me for my foster care experience. Besides
Was your experience any different in coming to college as a foster care alum?
Um, just I think doing the Renaissance Scholars, I'm not in anymore, but that's that experience and getting that connections with other students also was something good. Besides,
Thank you. As an African American male, is your experience in college been different from your peers? And if so, how?
My my experience, I'd say maybe different from my peers. The fact that I'm an African American male, um, being an African American male, I think we all know the statistics or somewhat about them. You know, you're more likely to have a broken home. Uh, you're more likely to not have a father. You're more likely to not graduate high school, and you're more likely to die at a younger age. Um, so I think just being a black male itself separates you from your peers so much. Um, you know, one of the big disadvantages I feel like I had just inside my home. When I was growing up, I didn't have positive role models. I didn't really have no one to look up to and to say, that's what I want to be. This is why I want to have a good job. No one owned a home in my family, so I didn't really know what that was like. You know, Section 8. Uh, I thought all houses were supposed to have bars on the windows. You know, so I think for me that 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 kind of was a disadvantage because coming into college, I didn't really know what to expect. My family uh, didn't really care too much about college, so I didn't know what to expect or what to do when I came to college. Um, so I think that was just I didn't have anyone in the house to teach me about what I was supposed to be doing when I was at college.
Yeah, I think John kind of he touched on the basis of that. For me, which I learned in Dr. Raheem's multicultural class, as an African American male here, I have to kind of wear a mask. You know, it's kind of like I'm not able to express what I'm expressing with my African American friends. I'm able to say that I'm kind of when I come to class or with professionally or talking to my professors or something like that, I have to talk different because I feel like they're going to have some type of perception about me. I'm not going to be able to get some type of privileges if I do talk professional, things like that. So it's definitely different. Because, it is sad because I'm not able to express myself. And if I'm on a campus that's, you know, all black or something like that, maybe I could express myself. But here at Fresno State, it's different. I have to kind of wear a mask and talk a certain way because I think they're going to think that I'm a, you know, perceive me in a different way. That oh, he's less educated or he's this or he's that, you know. So for me, it's always hard for me to wear that mask being African American male because I don't want to be placed as a typical African American male. So definitely that's one of the struggles.
Same thing he just touched on. I was thinking about the term whitewashed and being colored washed and not being the proper stigma or whatever elitist of what you're supposed to be. I think a lot of examples for me, especially when I first started coming here, being outed as the African American kid, the loud mouth or someone that should be, you know, talked down upon also. But I had a first experience my freshman year, and I'll never forget this. My English teacher, I had a paper due, and I did. And she was shocked at the actual level of writing that I did, that I was a dramatic change. I got A on paper. But she told me to rewrite my whole introduction paper right then in class. And I was like, well, why am I the only one out in the class? And I was like, well, I'm black and I'm male. I didn't think about that. And I told my parents too, and they're Caucasian. They were like, well, she's probably racist and all this stuff too. And I'm like, I don't think so. You know, I didn't think of it. And I think now that I've progressed in school, I see it more now since I am an African American male teachers now kind of out me for being a autism or for being the only other member. And especially in classes now, I see that you don't see a lot of male African American students in these upper division classes or even proceeding into graduation. And I was looking at the statistics too of how low it actually is for our group that even graduates. And I was thinking more about how also that when we do continue on to college, we still are stereotyped in stigma as even though we still can be higher education and we might have money in this and be a higher class, we're still considered as underclass. And we're still, I think the term would be hyper-ghettoized, that's not social class, but that term resonated with me too, and it seems that even though we continue to progress, we're still at the bottom. We still need to be there. And I think that would never change, and I think it's that lack of understanding and that lack of education and the lack to understand that we are from foster care, we are African Americans, males, and I think people need to really ask us instead of looking in a textbook and reading about it, because you're not going to know anything if you don't ask us. And you're not going to know our stories if you don't talk to us and give the time of day. So,
I just want to add to what Byron said about being, feeling masked, and I can definitely relate to that and agree to that. You know, I feel like when I'm at work or when I'm in class, I can't, sometimes I can't really be myself for the simple fact that I might say something, this person might make a judgment against me, which may ruin some opportunity that I may be able to have in the future. So, I'll get to hang out with friends who aren't black, and they'll look at me and they'll be like, John, you're not black. You don't act black. And, so I go home and I have to struggle with that because I don't know if it's a compliment or an insult. And so, I have to really, look at myself and make a judgment on my character. Like, am I doing the right thing? Am I not doing the right thing? Am I being someone's puppet? Or am I doing what I'm supposed to do to continue on with my education, continue on with my career? So I think that's definitely a struggle, having to mask who you really are.
Thank you. What do you think the university or college can do to help facilitate the success of African American males who are coming from the foster care system to college?
I think, like saying, going back in the beginning, we do, in my definition, have premature adulthood. And so, we need more programs and services to be those tools in order for us to be successful, because we are going through a lot, we are dealing with a lot. So I put that we need to create a learning community where African American